So we had an interesting trade take place where Mohamed Sanu is now a New England Patriot, and I find this very fascinating for several reasons. For one thing, the Patriots gave up a second-round pick for him, which at first I think some people are saying that seems a little bit high, but I actually don't really see it that way. I mean, for one thing, worth mentioning, not all second-round picks are created equal, and a New England Patriots second-round pick is probably going to be, probably the first number is going to start with a 6. We can feel pretty confident in that. And plus, I think that maybe is just in the ballpark for what Sanu is worth. Should he maybe be getting a third instead of a second? I mean, perhaps, but at the same time, it's in the ballpark. I'm not really going to criticize it too much. I do like this trade from the Falcons' perspective because they're probably just going to have to get rid of Sanu anyways just because of his contract. His contract isn't terrible, but it's a way to save some money. The Falcons are against the cap, and to have Calvin Ridley, who can totally be a wide receiver too. So I do like this trade from Atlanta's perspective. Things didn't work out as planned this year, so try to make the most of it. Get rid of your older players that still have value to try to get some draft picks back to be better in the future. I think that makes sense. But for New England, I think Sanu could actually really help this team. And one thing that I like about Sanu is that he is a good route runner. One of the things the Patriots love is guys who are good route runners, and I mean, okay, that's what every team loves, is when they have receivers who are also good route runners, but especially the Patriots, with all the short to medium range throws they like to have, I think Sanu could really help them a lot, and this play will be an example of that. Indianapolis is going to be running a cover 2, and for the Falcons, they're going to have Sanu run that route right there. So for the Falcons, basically the idea for Sanu's route is he's kind of just a guy who can gain some yards. He'll cut before he gets to the linebackers. Ryan can hit him before the linebackers if he wants to, and they can gain 3 or 4 yards. This is a first down and 20 situation, so you have to try to gain some chunk plays. You have to try to see if you can, ideally, gain 7 yards each play, but at least gain like 5 yards here, which can allow for a much easier second down situation. So that's the predicament that Atlanta is in, but what I like about this is I really just love how Sanu runs his route here. Watch how when he starts things off, he's just going to bolt to the right side of the screen. So now when he's cutting and getting ready to move, he's ready to cut to the middle of the screen now. If you look at the linebacker who's in charge of covering him, he has absolutely no idea where Sanu is going to be running. If Sanu continues to run deep, he's going to have to maybe potentially try to get in Sanu's way and not allow Sanu to get open because he could be trying to just get into that gap in coverage past him. He could also be doing a number of other things, but that is definitely something that the linebacker has to be aware of. So when Sanu does cut to the middle of the field, he's able to get wide open. Just a good piece of route running, not giving anything away, able to make the catch, and create a much easier second down situation for Atlanta, and those are the types of plays that New England loves to run. It's plays like that Sanu is going to bring to the table. I mean, the fact that he's kind of a really smart player at this point. He is 30 years old, he's been in the league for a minute now, so he knows how to just run his routes, and he does a pretty good job at it. Like, watch, this plays another example. It's simply just a route straight out to a flat, try to pick up some yards, nothing too crazy once again, but the reason why I'm showing these plays is because, A, that's what Sanu tends to run, but also, B, that's what New England tends to run. So you can very easily see him just fitting into that system perfectly. But really what I want you to take a look at is that it's going to be that Colt who's going to be in charge of covering Sanu on this play. So if Sanu were to quickly run out towards the sideline, well, that would be a signal to the Colts player who's in charge of covering him to crash in quickly. If he were to do that, then Sanu would probably still get the catch just because there is so much separation pre-snap, but at the same time, it wouldn't go for many yards. Again, this is a first down and 10, so gaining 2 or 3 yards is not the end of the world, but you would like to gain more if possible. And so watch how Sanu is just going to maximize how many yards he can potentially pick up after he makes the catch. One thing he's going to do is, again, just starts running straight. At this point, the Colts player, I mean, he took a couple of steps in, but he's not running in because he doesn't know what's going to happen. It could be a go route here, and that would be a terrible thing to run in on if it is just a go route. Or maybe it's a route that's going to cut, but later in the field. There's tons of options that could happen so that when Sanu does make his catch, he's able to then, after making the catch, run and pick up some yards, and he even got the first down there. So that's really what makes Sanu a very good player. He's not a great player, he probably isn't what he once was, but at the same time, you don't need him to be a dominant number 1 or number 2 receiver. You usually don't get a dominant number 2 receiver with a late second round pick. Sometimes it happens, but usually it doesn't. Usually that takes a first round pick. What you can get with a pick like that, though, is a solid role player, and Sanu it almost seems like an insult calling him a role player, but he has his role and he plays that role very well. One play that really jumped out at me when watching tape for this video was this one, where, I mean, this looks like it was just right out of the Patriots playbook. What's going to happen is it's going to be set up as though it's going to be a screen pass. So the 2 receivers on the bottom half of the screen will go like that, where the number 1 receiver will go out as though he's going to catch a screen pass, and the number 2 receiver just runs deep. The idea in that situation would be that since that number 2 receiver is running deep, a Colt would have to follow him and get far away from the screen pass. And then also they would have Sanu run like that. Sanu would basically be going out as though he's going to block for a screen pass, and so that's how they could really help sell that it is going to be a screen, but it isn't going to be a screen. Instead, Sanu is going to finish his route like that. It's all a fake play to get the ball to Sanu, and watch how well it's going to work out. More specifically, watch Sanu on this fake. I mean, as you look, he's looking to the bottom half of the screen. He's totally appearing as though he's trying to block on this play. And so if you're a Colts linebacker in the middle of the field, what would you think? Okay, I gotta go make sure that I make a play on this in case it is a screen pass, which is what he's gonna do. But then Sanu can just run right by him. It was just well executed by Sanu, and he makes the catch and gets inside the 20-yard line there. I mean, that's just well executed football. You know, it's good fundamental football, which is what the Patriots always preach, and it's what Mohamed Sanu absolutely can bring to that Patriots team. I mean, he's a smart player, which is what the Patriots go after, is smart players who fundamentally are pretty good. And it should be mentioned, I mean, he still is an athlete. It's not like he has no athletic ability left. I mean, he's 30, not 40. He absolutely can be a capable receiver. Like on this play, one thing you will notice right off the bat is that Sanu is going to go in motion here. So since there is going to be a defender who's following him, this now signifies to Matt Ryan, okay, this is man coverage, which is good for Matt Ryan because this route is designed to beat man coverage. I mean, it could beat zone as well, but really against man, it's going to be really good because if you see, it's just a route to the bottom half of the screen, and for Sanu, the guy who's in charge of covering him is currently closer to the top half of the screen than Sanu is. So pre-snap, Ryan has already made his decision. Ryan has already decided that he's going to throw this ball at Sanu, but watch how Sanu is just going to be able to just completely outrun his intended defender. There's nothing you can do. I mean, that's great defense, but you're going to give up yards on that play. He even makes the tackle to try to prevent a first down, but isn't able to just because, I mean, Sanu was too quick and he already had a step and that was all he needed. If you can scheme him a step, he can do the rest, and I guarantee you that this New England Patriots team will find ways to scheme him open, and I guarantee you he will take advantage of those. So I think this is kind of a match made in heaven in a lot of ways. He really does kind of embody that Patriots way, whatever that means, of just play smart football, do the little things, but then also he's a good athlete, so you know that definitely helps. Like even this play, for example, those are the routes that the two Falcons on the bottom half of the screen will be running, and Sanu is the guy who's running the route that's going to go towards the sideline. He's lined up currently closer to the left tackle, but he will be going closer to the sideline once the ball is snapped. That's his route. But again, watch the patience here that really both these Falcons receivers ran, but Sanu was one of them, where watch how he just slowly going out, and at this point, he could be going in any direction once again. This could be a go route, he could be cutting in. It actually kind of looks like he is cutting in here, but that's not what's going to happen. However, for those two Vikings, they have no idea. I mean, they just don't know, so they kind of have to hang back and wait for Sanu to make a move. But the second Sanu does make a move, he's easily able to get wide open, and they gain some yards. That's not a touchdown, that's nothing crazy, but it's a way to pick up some positive yards, which is what the Patriots love to do. Their offense can move the ball methodically down the field, largely because they trust Brady isn't going to do anything stupid, so just move the ball methodically down the field, and that's all their receivers have to do, and Mohamed Sanu can absolutely help them do that. And even one more play is a play like this, where this is going to be a 2nd down and 4 situation, and so for Atlanta, they just want to pick up the first down. They don't even want to have to worry about a 3rd down situation, and so there's a pretty simple way they're going to do that. There's a one-on-one matchup on the top half of the screen. It's Sanu against Darby, and so they're just going to throw it out to Sanu quickly and see if he can pick up the first down. And as you see, quickly gets it off to Sanu. Sanu is able to make a move, get around Darby, and pick up that first down. So that's just what he can do. That's what he can bring to the New England Patriots system. And it really, to me, seems like the rich get richer in a sense. I know they gave up a 2nd-round pick, but I'm not too concerned about that. I mean, you do have to focus on winning this year. Worry about next year. Try to win this year. I think sometimes teams get too caught up in the future, when in reality, I mean, a 2nd-round pick isn't going to tank your future. Get rid of the 2nd-round pick, get a player that's going to help you this year. I think it makes sense. I also think one other thing about Sanu going to the Patriots is just his versatility. I mean, that's what the Patriots love, is guys who are versatile, and Mohamed Sanu is one of those guys. Not only can he play any wide receiver position, really, but he has played quarterback before, and that's shown. I mean, you just have to know that Josh McDaniels is already working on some kind of trick play that involves both Sanu and Julian Edelman throwing the ball. And not to mention, he was even the Falcons' backup punt returner. So, I mean, he's definitely someone that can be versatile in that system. So yeah, I mean, I find it a very interesting move, but I like the move. I like the move from the Patriots' perspective. I think it makes sense from the Falcons' perspective, but I really like it from the Patriots' perspective. That's what I think. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching.